We're here in our wild and pretty feral feeling, but pretty meaningful chicken yard today. And I thought there was an opportunity to share some notes around particular setup that we have right now that is seeming to be off the charts with the amount of beautiful sprouts and red wigglers. And our hens are getting a lot of pleasure. And before we go in and turn this and reveal it for them, I thought it was an opportunity to share this with you folks too. For any of you that are completely new to the channel, very quick synopsis is we have a front yard chicken situation with around 70 plus hens, and a key component of our design is that they work with us to create mountains of beautiful compost. And so we've got all sorts of flows and systems for that, but there's this one area right in front of me that on the surface, quite literally, it looks like just a total mess. There's some random old watermelons, which the chickens are getting a ton of pleasure from. And then here is just this seemingly extremely haphazard mix of random woody stems. There's old corn cobs, there's prunings from some blackberries. We threw some whole seed in there, some wood chips. By all accounts, there's nothing going on here. But what we found is with all these chickens scratching all the time, when we have unprocessed sticks and debris in here, little branches and the like, it creates a mat that really keeps them from being able to scratch deeply down in. And earthworms and red wigglers, their populations can explode in this. There's all sorts of leaves and debris for them. Throwing a little seed here or there, waiting for some rains to have that sprout, we end up with this magical mix, and the effort is pretty low. Let's dig in so I can show you what I mean. Just gonna peel back some of the sticky stuff, and even without digging in, you should be able to start to see what's going on there. Now, we could definitely just leave this alone, and I certainly don't want to devastate the red wiggler population. It's a little tough wanting to even let the chickens have access to them, because they're such amazing beings too. But layer upon layer of this, so long as we keep doing this in other areas, this will evolve and deepen even more. And if you think about how meaningful that is as far as health of the soil, nutrition for hens, and the effort is basically sticks and debris and whatnot, and some seeds. Weed seeds from the garden, yellow dock seeds, burdock, it doesn't matter. We added some manures a ways back that had red wiggler life in there, and that's all it took to inoculate this. It's a miracle. That's about as complete of a diet as a chicken could possibly need, and it is just about no effort to get there. So that's about as simple of a design system as you can get. Layer upon layer, some seeds, some debris. Don't worry about the ratios. This is not incompatible with an existing system. Maybe you want to continue to feed them exactly how you have, but one area, start putting leaves and branches and lawn clippings and food scraps and seeds and see what happens. An additional layer to give a little more security to the red wigglers and also let more sprouts happen. Periodically dropping a little bit of a compost ring or a fence in makes for, don't mind the bone there or the old log, it makes for an even more increased scenario with the worms. I can't dig in there, or I can't pull it out, so I'll dig a bit. Here, because the chickens can't as easily scratch right near the fence line, the seeds have a chance to sprout way further. And so that's red winter wheat that is now luscious wheatgrass with red wigglers down below. I mean, that's almost good enough for us to eat. I'll leave that for them. And we'll go just a little deeper and bring this up and out and let the hens work on that. That also helps spike some of this newest material with more aged compost, which will help with the decomposition, help get the ratios healthier as well. With our system, we also have slightly more formalized paths that we take with food scraps. At a larger scale, we do organized bays and bulk it out with carbon and turn and blah, blah, blah. It looks a little bit more like a standard compost system. And this has huge value for being able to move compost through a pipeline and out on the other side. This is about 30 days later, and it's actually pretty much good to go for the garden. And that's a very helpful system for bulk and for having material move. But I've got to say, the more loose style of having some rings here or there, some logs on the ground, some stones laying there, and just keep on piling garden debris, food scraps, old eggshells, whole seed from the feed for the hens, as well as weed seeds, old amaranth seeds, doesn't matter, and letting that layer up so life can start to get really deepen. Once in a while, opening that up for them is a great thing. If you live in an area that has very cold winters, we can get some seriously cold winters. One way to keep this alive through the winter or ready for next season is to put a ton of leaves, either leaf bags from neighbors or from your community, or raking up leaves where you are, and insulate the heck out of it going into the winter. When you pull it back in the spring, that same life should be there. Hoping wherever you are on the path to having more intersection between chickens and compost production, that this sort of video lands in a way where you feel that, yeah, you can absolutely do it. You can work with the current system you have, you can add little bits here or there, you can overhaul the whole thing if that's what you want, or like us, basically allow it to evolve over the process of about 6 years or so. Make tons of mistakes, but keep making adjustments and checking in with your hens' needs as you go. We have not purchased standard layer mix for our hens in 5 years. We have no intention to do so. They're healthy, they're happy. It's a retirement community of lovely, beautiful hens that still give us more eggs than we need. The system truly works, and I think you can fold it into your system too. Let us know in the comments if you have any questions, or if you're doing stuff like this, or if you've gone way beyond what we're sharing here and have some other tips and ideas that folks can benefit from. Let's have some thorough and healthy discussion. Thanks so much. Hope you are all well and that your hens are thriving if you happen to have some dinosaurs where you live.